10 4x4s with skyrocketing values over the last decade. The ability to provide torque to all four wheels at the same time is what distinguishes 4x4s, and these examples have become more valuable in recent years. With the stratospheric trend of luxury SUVs dominating the automotive market over the last decade or two, it was only logical that the market for classic off-roaders and SUVs would become hot. It did, predictably, and now classic 4x4 vehicles are absolute gold on the used market, representing an era when a 4x4 was a no-nonsense, utterly capable off-road vehicle that could comfortably transport you to places that a regular sedan or wagon could only dream of. Some cars, in particular, have seen significant increases in value over the last decade, and here are the top 10 that have become particularly desirable. Land Rover Series or Defender, $70,000 on average. With the demise of the original Defender in 2016, it was clear that demand would surge regardless of what its replacement would be like. As a result, the new Defender was less agrarian, more tuned for road use, and brimming with electrical amenities. That was favorably received by mass-market purchasers, but not so much by tough Land Rover fans. The value of the old series Landies and Defenders has skyrocketed in recent years, with nice examples selling at least $50,000. In North America, those with a V8 are worth up to $90,000 or more if in excellent condition. Range Rover Classic $30,000 on average. The Range Rover has been the premium SUV segment's flagship. It has always been the car to beat in terms of total package and has set the benchmark that few have failed to follow for almost 50 years. Naturally, with Range Rover sales skyrocketing with the current generation and increasing demand for SUVs, classic Range Rovers are now worth a lot of money, at least $20,000 for good specimens, and occasionally as much as $40,000. While the early two-door models were not available in North America, they were more coveted, and the subsequent four-door models are naturally less so. Nonetheless, if you were looking for an excellent one at a reasonable price, you most likely passed it up. Toyota Land Cruiser 60 Series average price $25,000. The Toyota Land Cruiser has a similar legacy to both the Land Rover Series 1, 2, 3 and the Range Rover, in that it has always been a highly sought-after, desired 4x4, and the luxury-oriented versions are extremely valuable today. The 60 Series made between 1980 and 1990 are especially desirable today, with nice examples fetching an average of $25,000. However, the 100 Series is beginning to impress collectors, possibly because the Land Cruiser has been discontinued in North America. Toyota Land Cruiser FJ $30,000 on average. Naturally, when a particular model of car becomes popular and famous, such as the Land Cruiser, more and more people want to own the original to remember where it all began. The appeal of early Corvettes, Series 1 Land Rovers, and Ford Broncos has skyrocketed. As a result, the Land Cruiser is no exception. The original Toyota 4x4 is now a highly valued asset in the automobile industry, with completely restored versions fetching more than $30,000 at auction. While they were designed to be economical and durable automobiles, the valuations of old specimens have firmly established them as collector's items. Toyota 4Runner N120, $115,000 on average. Surprisingly, the more humble Toyota 4Runner has seen a boost in value among enthusiasts over the last decade. The simplicity and durability of this off-road weapon have been favored, and with the 4Runner's popularity at an all-time high, older models have become more desired. Good in 120, 130 generation 4Runners can sell for as much as $15,000, $20,000 on the used market, which may startle the typical spectator who is looking to buy a used 4x4. However, the 4Runner's dependability and ruggedness, as well as Toyota products in general, have kept enthusiast demand high. Chevrolet Blazer K5 average price $60,000. The contemporary Chevrolet Blazer disappoints old-school Blazer enthusiasts, since it's just another bland, mundane crossover meant to get from point A to point B without any personality. In contrast, the old K5 generation Blazer was a 4x4 weapon for its day. In the American market, it competed with the Ford Bronco, and its boxy size and V8 engines have made it a sentimental remembrance of what the Blazer used to and could have been. Prices for decent ones might range from $50,000 to $100,000 for exceptionally perfect, restored models, but when you win, you get a car that screams USA. Nissan Patrol Y60 average price of $15,000. Nissan's response to Toyota's Land Cruiser was the mostly unnoticed Patrol. For many years, it was regarded as the Japanese equivalent to a Land Cruiser if you couldn't get your hands on one. People are starting to recognize the Patrol for what it is, a fantastic off-road 4x4 with the potential to succeed on its own terms. The earlier versions are especially valuable on the collector market, with clean examples costing more than $15,000. Patrols are more difficult to find for sale than Toyota products, so if you're looking for one, keep your eyes peeled. Mercedes G-Wagon average price of $35,000. The Mercedes G-Wagon, originally built for the Australian Army, was a sophisticated, slightly more durable alternative to the Land Rover Series 3. Later Defender, however, the G-Wagon is currently enjoying popularity on the bling scene. Given that Mercedes currently caters the boxy 4x4 to the trendy fashion market, instances of the older, more agricultural models have surged in value, particularly those equipped with larger straight-six or V8 engines. A good 80S or 90S example can cost up to $30,000, $35,000, and fans will always say that this is because Mercedes no longer manufactures the G-Wagon. Jeep Wagoneer average price of $30,000. The Jeep Wagoneer first appeared in 1963, 6 years before Charles Spencer King's Range Rover. Many consider it to be the first luxury SUV, despite the fact that it was originally intended to be a road-oriented Jeep, constructed as a traditional wagon. Despite this, the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer immediately became cult classics, with manufacture lasting until the early 1990s. Collectors have purchased vintage Wagoneers in the current day, even going so far as to install new improvements to suit their rich demands. On the used market, good specimens of Wagoneers can fetch up to $30,000, and with a new version on the horizon, demand for the earlier models can only go one way. Ford Bronco, $60,000 to $130,000 on average. Finally, we must mention the legendary Ford Bronco. It has been the darling of the custom 4x4 community in recent years, and demand for the original 4x4 has only increased. As a result, prices have skyrocketed. Fully restored, modified specimens sell for well over $200,000 at auction, making it one of the fastest rising automobiles in the last decade. It's no surprise that Ford decided to resurrect the Bronco with an all-new generation based on the classic's design. They knew exactly where the money was, and it was a natural success for Ford. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.